distinguished guests, police and peace officers, veterans, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, bonjour, danse. It is indeed my privilege to bring greetings on behalf of His Majesty King Charles III, King of Canada, on Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day, as we pay tribute to the courageous men and women who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Unfortunately, we add another name to the National Honor Roll, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention him. Constable Rick O'Brien of the RCMP, shot and killed in the line of duty in Coquitlam, BC, just 2 days ago. I extend my condolences on behalf of everyone here in Saskatchewan to his family and colleagues. Thank you to all the officers who are on parade today. And thank you for the public that are here today as well to offer your support. In 1998, when the Government of Canada officially proclaimed the last Sunday in September as Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day, the Solicitor General of Canada stated, "A formal National Memorial Day gives Canadians an opportunity each year to formally express appreciation for the dedication of police and peace officers who make the ultimate tragic sacrifice to keep communities safe," end quote. Since then, each year, people have gathered nationwide, as has been mentioned already. The first Memorial Day, 14 officers were honored in our national capital. Today, sadly, there are over 870 members whose names are engraved on the honor roll in Ottawa. I'm grateful to the Saskatchewan Federation of Police Officers for organizing this provincial ceremony to pay tribute to fallen peace and police officers today. They deserve nothing less from us. I also wish to acknowledge all the officers present, including the veterans, for your service to our province and our country. Few people can understand the burden of responsibility you bear, and your willingness to serve in these demanding and at times dangerous roles is greatly appreciated. As a former member of the RCMP, I've been personally impacted by colleagues and friends who lost their lives in the line of duty. As difficult it is for us as colleagues to come to terms with the passing of fellow officers, it is more difficult for the families. I express my sincere condolences to the families of the fallen. I hope that you can take some comfort in the deep respect and admiration felt by the people of Saskatchewan for your loved ones' contributions and service. I will close with an excerpt from Robert Longley's poem called "A Hero's Welcome." "You clearly gave it all, and through your selfless actions, others will hear the call. So take your place of honor among those who have gone before, and know you will be remembered for now and evermore." Thank you.
Be seated. Sergeant Major Fraser, pipers for presentation of address, please.
Pipe Major, take post. Attack! Turn. Great attack! Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Ms. Jody Scott, the Campbell Collegiate Chamber Choir.
On guard. Under. East. Head. East. And east. Down. And easy.
Voices of Angels. Thanks so much, Jody. Boys and girls. As His Honor mentioned, there are over 800 names on the honor roll on Parliament Hill in Ottawa. There are 65 names on our Saskatchewan honor roll. Just wait for the aerial display to go by. I'd like to call on Conservation Officer Sergeant Beth Kelly and Saskatoon Police Service Sergeant Major Mikhail Zayola to read the Saskatchewan honor roll.
Sub-Constable George Mahoney, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable George Hamilton Johnston, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable Thomas James Gibson, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable George Knox Garrett, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable George Pierce Arnold, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable David Vladimir Cohen, Northwest Mounted Police. Corporal Ralph Bateman Slade, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable Patrick Burke, Northwest Mounted Police. Corporal William Hay Talbot Lowry, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable Frank Orlando Elliott, Northwest Mounted Police.
Sergeant Albert Ernest Garland, Montgomery, Northwest Mounted Police. Sergeant Colin Campbell Colbrook, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable Oscar Alexander Kern, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable John Randolph Kerr, Northwest Mounted Police. Corporal Charles Horn Sterling Hawken, Northwest Mounted Police. Constable Thomas Robert Jackson, Royal Northwest Mounted Police. Deputy Sheriff Bailiff James McKay, Court of Saskatchewan. Sergeant Donald Forbes, Royal Northwest Mounted Police. Penitentiary Guard Stanley Hebert Blythe, Saskatchewan Penitentiary, Prince Albert. Corporal Leonard Victor Rawls, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Inspector Lorne James Sampson, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Constable George A. Lenhart, Regina Police. Detective Charles Miller, Regina Police. Guard John S. Sangster, Department of Public Works. Constable Willis Edward Rodenizer, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Norman Alfred Gledow, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Sergeant Arthur Julian Barker, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Harry G. Rapier, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Surgeon Maurice Powers, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Charles William Ray, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Inspector David James McComb, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Matthew Kwasnika, Prince Albert Police.
Officer Harold B. Thompson, Saskatchewan Department of Natural Resources. Constable Wayne Sinclair, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable David Brian Robinson, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Conservation Officer Alfred B. Newland, Saskatchewan Department of Natural Resources. Constable Philip John Francis Tidman, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Roger R. Beausoleil, Town Police, Willow Bunch. Sergeant Robert James Schrader, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Douglas Bernard Anson, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Leslie E. Gardner, Moose Jaw Police. Constable Brian King, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Constable Roy John William Karwaski, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Corporal Ole R. Larson, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Douglas A. M. Butler, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Richard Allen Bourgoin, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Daniel Lincoln Keogh, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Special Constable W.P. Bosco, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Special Constable J.F. Wilson, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Corrections Officer Alvin A. Frank, Ministry of Solicitor General and Corrections. Constable D.S. Bayak, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Conservation Officer Murray L. Doyle, Saskatchewan Department of Natural Resources. Conservation Officer Lee Murray, Saskatchewan Department of Natural Resources.
Conservation Officer Arthur T. Hogan, Saskatchewan Department of Natural Resources. Lynn Sharber, Saskatchewan Department of Social Services. Conservation Officer Breton Thomas, Saskatchewan Environment and Resource. Conservation Officer Kevin R. Misfeld, Saskatchewan Environment and Resource. Constable Daniel Bourdon, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Robin Cameron, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Mark Burdage, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Constable Derek Pinio, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Conservation Officer Justin Nackstead, Saskatchewan Ministry of Environment. Constable Shelby Patton, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Three, action, go!
We shall never forget them. Before we continue on with the ceremony, I just want to thank and acknowledge all the officers that came out this morning on parade. And I'd also like to acknowledge, you've likely noticed them at the back of the parade square there in their biking attire. The Ride to Remember, there's 35 members that spent the last couple of days in the saddle riding to remember those who have fallen. I think they deserve a round of applause. motion for the laying of the wreaths. On behalf of His Majesty the King, His Honor, the Honorable Russ Morosky, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan. On behalf of the Government of Canada, Mr. Warren Steinley, Member of Parliament. Okay, not seeing him, I'm going to ask Ms. Shelley Johnson to lay that one. And Shelley. On behalf of the Government of Saskatchewan, the Honorable Christine Tell. On behalf of the Saskatchewan Association of Chiefs of Police, Chief Rich Lowen, President of the Association and Chief of the Estevan Police Service. On behalf of the Saskatchewan Federation of Police Officers, Mr. Taylor Elder, Vice President. On behalf of Saskatchewan Peace Officers, Corrections Officer Dustin Rose. On behalf of federal police officers, Chief Superintendent Ted Monroe, RCMP F Division. And on behalf of families of fallen officers, from our Memorial Organizing Committee, I'm going to call back Ms. Shelley Johnson. Shelley. I'd just like to acknowledge the Canadian Armed Forces 10th Field Regiment Artillery. They've been here every year that we've been here, and we very much appreciate their participation. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and join the Campbell Collegiate Chamber Choir for O Canada. For the march past and salute to the headdress. Sergeant Major Fraser. ask that you remain standing for the departure of the Vice Regal Party. However, my friend over here, Ann Goodell from our organizing committee, has Saskatchewan Police and Peace Officers Memorial cookies. They are awesome. So while supplies last, help yourselves. You're gonna, sorry? Oh, and Shelley has some too. Oh, we got two there. You can put them on the table. Those of you that laid wreaths, if you would like to retain your wreath and take it back to your agency or whatever, please feel free to do so. We end up having to dispose of them, and it breaks my heart every time we do that. So if you want to take your wreath back to your agency or home, whatever, please feel free. I have a list a mile long of thank yous. How about if I just say thank you to everyone, to each and every one of you, to all our friends who joined us here today to observe this important day. I just, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much, and I think you all deserve a round of applause. And that's it for 2023. Thank you so much. See you all next year. Be safe.